Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hold up, y'all. Making sure that my earbuds are cleared. Welcome, everybody. Who's in the chat? Let me see. Welcome to everybody. I don't know. Hopefully notifications went. Hopefully notifications went out. Welcome. Hey, Wim. Hey, Lovey Cats. Hey, Nebulous. Hey, Chico. I see everybody, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yo, it is Friday. I don't know about you guys, but it's been quite the Diddy week, right? Hey, Simply Monica, you got notified? K9 says, I got notified. Wim, I got notified. Welcome. Hey, Nana's Ranch. Shout out to you. Hey, John. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Natalie. Thank you so much for the Cash App. You are amazing, love. Shout out to you. And best of, I'm not going to put your business out there, but best of luck on the message that you sent me. Let me know what happens, okay? Shout out to you. Priya, the Grudis girl, spooky. Oh my gosh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Bruning. Welcome. Everybody. Gordon, welcome. Thank you, love. Tiffany, how you doing? You was notified a while ago? Well, that's good. Bella, shout out to everybody, y'all. Shout out to everybody. Thank you for being here. And Spooky and everybody, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Caroline, how are you? Everybody, thank you, thank you. All right. Shout out to you. Ooh, from Bakersfield, California. Oh my God, I love Bakersfield. No, I don't. It's hot. I used to live in Lodi when I was a kid. I grew up in Lodi for a while, so I kind of know that area very well. Madera, Chowchilla, all those areas. So Bakersfield comes to mind. Hey, Pika, Wim just gifted. Yeah, Wim got us started. Thank you, Wim. Wim just gifted 5 memberships. If you guys got a membership from Wim, put a heart in the chat. Put a heart in the chat. Thank you. You said you're drivers to trade in Bakersfield? Ooh, hey Taz. Tiki, welcome. I see people. Mary, welcome. Gordon, well, I'm glad that you are in the comments. Shout out to you. Thank you for being more than just a lurker and a subscriber. Priya, Brianna, Nancy, everybody's here. Brenda K, welcome, Brenda K. Destiny, how you doing? Well, thank you. I just got notified. Listen, I gotta thank you guys for helping me with this mic, and buying stuff. Now, let me just say this, okay? I don't like having too much stuff on my desk, so I'm definitely gonna have to buy one of those. What do you call those little arms that connects to the mic, where you're able to kind of like, welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order type of deal? I'm able to move it out of the way, and I'm able to get on the computer. That that kind, like the little arm extender thing. Um, yeah. So I need to get me one of those because I'm not used to having so much shit on my desk. I hate that when I'm working or I'm doing something and I'm doing, reviewing things. But welcome. Oh my God, you said you grew up in the Bay, California, but had family in the valley around Turlock and Lodi. Shout out to everybody from Lodi. I lived in Lodi for a couple of years. I lived in Chowchilla for like 4 years. Loved it over there. My voice sounds crisp. Oh, thank you. I'm telling you, Priya, I'm about to do some ASMR Mar. Thank you, Miss Janie. Welcome, everybody. Bex, shout out to you. And then John J. All right, everybody, let's get started because we got some stuff to really cover. Now, I want to start real quick because I did say we were going to, not really go into it too much, but the whole Kevin Spacey thing. Listen, Kevin Spacey is trying to make a comeback to the industry. He's got Liam Neeson. He's got, who is it? Sharon Stone. He's got like all these A-listers, speaking for him, supporting him publicly, which is, I guess, grand, whatever. I mean, if that's how it is. But if you guys watch, I did put the video in the description box, the review of Spacey Unmasked. I'm just going to say this. I get that the man was acquitted. He was acquitted in the UK and in New York, but some of the allegations are very disturbing, and it's numerous allegations and they're very similar. The one that really took me out was the one from his high school buddy friend that I said, so this was going all the way back in high school, some of this. Now I don't know. Shout out to Layla. Um I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just being honest with you guys. I have a feeling I don't know how I feel about Kevin Spacey at this point. Um I definitely believe some of the allegations. I'm going to put it like that. That's all I'm gonna say. And I know some of you guys are fans of Kevin Spacey, and I am too. I am. There's you can't kill the man's, art. He definitely is great. But when I was watching some of the interviews that he was doing about these allegations, I don't know if we're watching an honest person or a person that is being faced with these allegations and then he's just putting on the acting part. Like I said, like he's really good at it. I was watching the interviews and I said, I feel like I'm watching one of his characters in like a movie that I've seen before, Usual Suspects or Life of David Gale. That's another, that was one of my favorite movies too. Between that and American Beauty. So I don't know, y'all. You think there's something definitely off. There's something off. It's very interesting that people who filed against him one way or another passed away. 3 people in 2019 passed away. One of those was a female witness. You can't get past that, y'all. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's something completely off. Now, I don't have the power to uncancel someone. I really don't. I don't even know what it means to uncancel someone because honestly, if they're showing up in your algorithm and they're showing up in your feed and they're, you know what I'm saying? It's like people, especially this internet and the media, will push shit to you. And it's almost like you have no other choice but to really watch it. So that's the piece that I'm like, I don't understand. Like, is he wanting to get more jobs? Is that what the issue is? Or what exactly is going on? That's kind of where I'm at. But yeah. That's just me. All right. Anyways, let's keep going. You said I like Kevin Spacey as an actor, but there is something very unsettling with him. There just is. There just is. Is it? And another Diddy eliminating. Listen, we're gonna get into Diddy. You guys ready? I have not read this lawsuit. Let me get in my screen real quick. So let me tell you what's going on. There was a lawsuit that was filed this week with a woman by the name of Crystal McKinney. And that happened. And then less than 48 hours later, we have another lawsuit of a woman by the name of April Lampros. I think that's her name. Now, I haven't had the time to read this, so we're going to read it here together. I figured I'd give y'all my reactions. For those that are seeing these little invisible channel name things, that's a stamp, just so you guys are aware. I am not going to go into what jurisdiction, what change of venue. No, I'll tell you who is this attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, who is I guess representing April. Okay. Now, let me tell you this. At this point, it's a Tyrone Blackburn lawsuit when he's got pictures for show and tell. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. You think Rachel says he's covering up for his crimes as Diddy? It's a lot of seriously. Am I the only one? Why are you laughing? She's like, LOL. Listen, am I the only one that notices this? Every time there's a Tyrone Blackburn, it's like a picture book. Why? For what? Just write the lawsuit. I almost feel like he puts pictures in here to fill in the pages. You know how like sometimes you'd have to write like a paragraph and you'd be like, I can't come up with other things. So then you would, I don't know, time Romans 14, 13 and the spacing just to make it more, give it more juice to this paperwork. I'm like, you don't need not every attorney turns in pictures like this unless they're necessary. Kay's laughing too. Kay, I'm right. I'm right. He's going to be known as the attorney that does lawsuits with pictures. If you get bored of reading lawsuits, go check out Tyrone Blackburn's attorney's lawsuits because he's got pictures to his lawsuits. Yeah, I know. It's like see it for yourself. Happy Friday, y'all. It is Friday. All right. So I'm just going to get right to the summary of factual accusations. And then I also have Crystal McKinney's lawsuit, which we're going to look into that as well. But let's get into it. And I'm going to take some breaks for water and I might get a little refill and whatever I need to do. Okay. Because my voice gets dry. So shout out to you guys. All right. Make myself smaller. Okay. So here we have summary of factual accusations. So this is the lawsuit of April Lampros. Upon information and belief, Miss Lampros met Mr. Combs in early 1994 after the birth of his first son, Justin Dior Combs. At that time, Miss Lampros was a college student at the Fashion Institution of Technology, FIT, studying fashion design and marketing to impress her, Mr. Combs would often invite her to Bad Boy recording studios in New York City. So let me stop right here. Did she know? How did she meet Mr. Combs? She met Mr. Combs in 1994, early 1994, after their firstborn son, Justin Dior Combs. But how did they meet? So at that time, she was a college student at the Fashion Institute of Technology, studying fashion design marketing to impress her, Mr. Combs would often invite her to Bad Boy recording studios in New York. And I guess this is a picture. Now, my question when I saw this, I said, well, is she the one that's blocked off, or is she the one next to him that's not blocked off? Kind of makes you wonder. Let me see. Let's keep going. Miss Lampros, Sean Combs. Okay, so she is blocked off. And a friend in Bad Boys Studios. Have people now found out who she is? Is she trying to remain as a Jane Doe? Because she's identified as first and last name. Now I'm kind of curious why her face is blocked off. When she met Mr. Combs, Miss Lampros shared with him her dreams of working in the fashion industry, and Mr. Combs promised to mentor her and help her by introducing her to music and fashion industry executives, as well as assisting her with finding work. Okay. Mr. Combs bombed her. He showered her with gifts and flowers as evidenced by one of the cards that accompanied the flowers that Mr. Combs sent Miss Lampros for Valentine's Day in 1994. Daily Bloom, Happy Valentine's Day, love, Puffy. So, wow. You said, why would she block off her face and leave the friend? That's a great question, the Gudis girl. But her name is identifiable. I mean, there's got to be, I'm just saying, the internet's going to find something on her. Like, it is what it is. You said, so that's his pattern. He makes you rich and famous. And he promised that before, though? That's what he was promising to a lot of folks, right? So it does kind of make you wonder what's up with that. Legal Tiffany's like, let me give y'all some legal advice. Don't do business with Diddy. Let me not cough on this mic. Tiffany's like, let me give y'all some legal advice. Don't do business with Diddy. Okay. Too late, right? Too late. Let's keep reading this. Hold up, y'all. Mr. Combs went so far as to invite Miss Lampros to his first Father's Day celebration. The invitation to the event is below. Lord have mercy. So listen. Okay. Wait a minute. Mr. Combs went so far as to invite Miss Lampros to his first Father's Day celebration. The invitation to the event is below. Oh, okay. Dear friends, on June 19th, 1994, Bad Boy Records Entertainment would like for you to come and join us in the celebration of the original Bad Boy's first Father's Day celebration. For this occasion, there is a dress code. No jeans or sneakers will be permitted. The spectacular event will be held at the Capitol located at 1110 First Avenue at 61st Street. The event will begin promptly at 10 p.m. and will go on until. Please come early to avoid any inconvenience. For further information, you can contact the office of Bad Boy Entertainment. Look at, they doxed the number. I wonder if that number still works. Is that number still works? Well, thank you, Maria. They put the baby. See, CK, they didn't even block the baby. They figured he's a public figure. Hey, Vic. Shout out to you, love. You said, Rabbit, I don't know if you addressed this because I had to get a phone call, but model Crystal McKinney also filed yeah, we got that lawsuit too. Thank you, Monica. We're going to review that. They didn't even block. Look, Somebody take this number down. I'm just joking. I'm not trying to dox anybody, but they got the Bad Boy Entertainment phone number out there. They didn't even block the baby. But they block everybody else. I can't. Anyways, June 19, 1994, Happy Father's Day celebration held at the Capitol located at 1110 First Avenue. Oh man, he really went out with these invitations. Look at that. A month after the Father's Day event, Mr. Combs invited Miss Lampros to an exclusive Bad Boy party with performances by Usher, Craig Mack, and the Notorious B.I.G. Look, he even wrote a little poem here. Life is not a game. Only the finest and most aggressive will survive. Sleeping is forbidden. A second cannot be wasted. 1 seconds are lost, you lose. And losing is for losers. He wrote that? You see that? He really, life is not a game. Only the I can't even read that again. How did I read that? Only the finest and most aggressive will survive. Yeah, it's a little blur. Sleeping is forbidden. A second cannot be wasted. 1 seconds are lost, you lose. And losing is for losers? Losing is for losers. They're very poetic. I mean, okay. Bad Boy Entertainment is about to set off. And then they have the date of a party here, which was July 19, 1994. Okay. Dress, it's all good. Super DJ Puff Daddy on the 1 and 2s. Midnight performance by Bad Boy Entertainment owns Craig Mack and the Notorious B.I.G. special guest appearance by Usher Raymond, LaFace Records. This invite admits one only and is non-transferable. What would you transfer the invite to another party? This is back in 1994. Anyways, let's keep reading. I mean, these are very interesting pictures. I'll give you that. Okay. Upon information and belief, what Mr. Combs displayed as a kind gesture quickly manifested into an aggressive, coercive, and abusive relationship based on sex. These acts were not isolated to the state of New York, as Mr. Combs would fly Miss Lampros to Atlanta to see him, where they would spend time together. Miss Lampros would also fly to Miami to see Mr. Combs at his home. So there are some pictures there. And she doesn't want to be identified in these pictures, so she's blocked out the pictures, but not herself in the pictures, but not the friends. Miss Lampros at Mr. Combs' home in Florida. So I don't know what that's all about, but y'all keep that in mind. Kay says this is a brochure for a party. No wonder why everybody wanted to be there, right? But it's not transferable. Like, you can't transfer it to another party. You know? Say someone else could go into your place. Yeah, you can't, somebody can't go for you. I guess it has to be just for you. You say, how about all the seconds lost by women who were blacked out from substances allegedly given to them? Guess they're losers, right? John J says, answer, the number goes to some female voice males, but she has something to deal with hip hop. Anyways, all right, let me keep reading. Let me know where your guys' thoughts are in the comments as I'm reading, okay? And it says, these acts were not isolated. Okay, we read that part. Miss Lampros at Mr. Combs' home in Florida. Upon information and belief throughout the years with Mr. Combs, there were 4 terrifying sexual encounters Miss Lampros endured. According to Miss Lampros, Mr. Combs had a terrible temper and often threatened to harm her if she had failed to do what he said. If he witnessed her talking to other men or if she failed to take his phone calls. According to Miss Lampros, she was also not allowed to talk about her relationship with Mr. Combs to anyone because he did not want anyone to know he was seeing her because she is a white woman. Whoa, Lord, let me read that again. According to Miss Lampros, she was also not allowed to talk about her relationship with Mr. Combs to anyone because he did not want anyone to know he was seeing her because she is a white woman. Who is writing this damn lawsuit? Tyrone, get you some Grammarly. Like, I'm having a hard time, and English is not my first language. I could see somebody give me a red pen. I don't know if he's doing Grammarly on this thing. That was my issue with the last lawsuit in Tiny and Ti, is the way he was writing shit was like it was like he was writing it so quick he didn't even really pause to like, like spell check or something. Yeah. Monica's laughing. I don't know what you laughing about. I'm just saying I can't like it's a run-on sentence. I don't know when to stop. Get some grammar, just get it. Get some Grammarly. It comes with an extension in Chrome. It could really help. I'm just saying. You said J Hoff says, I think the friends shown on the blonde is her and her friends are blocked. But if that's the case, J Hoff, then if that's her, hold up, let me see. This is page 7, right? When she showed, when they did the order, it says Miss Lampros, unless Miss Lampros is the one on the right. It doesn't specify who. But you might be right though, Hoffman, because the same woman is on that other picture too. See? Like she's not blocked. The other, this woman is not blocked. So you might be right. This might be her. This just might be her too, Jay Hoffman. Thank you for pointing that out. You said they're not good at damage control, but know how to F around and find out. That's right. Mm-hmm. You said, as a managing moderator who has to read so many comments of Sloan comments, run on sentence, grind my gears. I know they I don't know. But and I can do a run-on sentence as well. But anyways, totally not perfect. But if I'm writing a lawsuit that it's going to be read internationally, the last thing I'm going to do is just submit it without having somebody proofread it a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it keeps going. um Sexual assault encounter 1. The first horrific sexual encounter occurred in 1995 when Miss Lampros met up with Mr. Combs in south of Houston Street, Soho, at a bar. She was introduced to a woman named Redacted. That woman's name is Redacted. And the group lightly drank throughout that evening. At that time, Miss Lampros was a college student and did not drink any alcohol. Due to Mr. Combs' delusional and violent outbursts, she succumbed to pressure and reluctantly drank with Mr. Combs and Redacted. As they drank, Miss Lampros began to feel uneasy. At this point, she had only had a few sips of one drink. Miss Lampros and Redacted were guided to a vehicle and left the bar with Mr. Combs. Ooh wee. Okay. They arrived at the Millennial Hotel. At that hotel, while at the hotel, Miss Lampros continued to feel uneasy. She recalls feeling like the walls were closing in on her. She was laid on the hotel bed where Mr. Combs forced himself on top of her. Mr. Combs began to kiss Miss Lampros, and she turned her head, trying to avoid the interaction. He grabbed her face. Mr. Combs continued to kiss her forcefully. All right, I'm putting this out here, y'all. I guess we're going to get to a very graphic part. If you need to log off for a little bit, this will probably be the part where you need to do that. Yeah, thank you for putting that trigger warning. Thank you so much. Heads up. Okay. Miss Lampros informed him that she wasn't feeling well, but he ignored her words and continued to take off her clothes. Miss Lampros tried to hold on to her clothing, but she felt weak and powerless in this situation. Miss Lampros pleaded with Mr. Combs to stop, and he ignored her. Miss Lampros could not process why this was occurring and felt a loss of control. Miss Lampros was being raped by Mr. Combs as soon as she passed and she soon passed out. Excuse me. The next morning, Miss Lampros was awoken by the sun peering through the drapes. She was nude, sore, and confused. Miss Lampros quickly got out of bed, clothed herself, and left the hotel room as fast as she could. Months after the first rape, Mr. Combs pursued Miss Lampros. He sent her gifts, cards, and flowers, and used his power and access to the music industry events to lure Miss Lampros back to him. Miss Lampros was a hopeful yet naive college student, and took Mr. Combs at his word and believed that the first rape was a possible, how do you say that? Is it mulligan? Is that how you say that? Hold up. Let me look that up. What does that even mean? Look at it. I'm learning. Hold up. Mulligan. So that's what he called it? A possible mulligan? Is that the right word? Okay. All right. Hold up. So he says Miss Lampros was hopeful yet naive. Miss Lampros was a hopeful yet naive college student and took Mr. Combs at his word and believed that the first rape was a possible mulligan and decided to give him a second chance. A mulligan golf do-over? That's what I thought. Is that the right word to let me know, y'all? Is that the right word to use? I've never heard it used that way. Right. I mean, I'm looking it up. I'm like, you said an informal golf, an extra stroke allowed after a poor shot, not counted on the second score. Isn't that like but that's like a golf term, right? Anyways, all right, let me stop. Let me stop. um, at the time, Miss Lampros was a college student in her late teens and early 20s. Her decision to return to Mr. Combs after being raped is indicative of many assault survivors who return to their abusers. Miss Lampros agreed to meet with Mr. Combs to discuss the business opportunities he promised, as he knew her passion was to pursue a career in fashion and music. Gotcha. You said it means that it doesn't count. Thank you. So that's why he used that word. So Tiffany says a second chance to perform an action usually after the first went wrong. But I don't know if is that a good word to use in this situation? Vintage Mama just gifted 5 memberships. Guys, put a heart in the chat if you got membership from Vintage Mama. Thank you, Vintage Mama. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And shout out to the 14 viewers that we have on Twitter. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, so basically he kept courting her back. Like he was trying to ask her back. You think I think he was just trying to keep her from speaking. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay. They met up and talked near his Manhattan apartment, which was somewhere near the 30th Street at that time. Miss Lampros was under the impression that that what had occurred months prior between them would not happen again. She was holding on Mr. Combs' promises of access to his industry to pursue her fashion. Mr. Combs was respectful, regained her trust, and used their common interaction with Arista Records, parent company of Bad Boy Records, and Miss Lampros was an intern at Arista Records. Things seemed to be normal between the two until the second incident of sexual assault. Oh man. So then there was another incident of sexual assault. Okay. Here we go. Morning for those that are coming in. Thank you so much for being here. We are reviewing the April Lampros Diddy lawsuit. We're reviewing the events. Okay. During the second incident of sexual assault, Mr. Combs and Miss Lampros were in a parking garage near his Manhattan apartment. She believed it was somewhere near 30th Street. They were headed to dinner, and Mr. Combs was slightly inebriated. As they headed towards the parking garage, Mr. Combs grabbed Miss Lampros by the waist and forced her down to his knees. He quickly unzipped his pants. All right, trigger warning, y'all. Keep that in mind. Here we go. He quickly unzipped his pants, exposing his erected penis. He then grabbed her hair, wrapped it around his fist, and then forced his erected penis into her mouth and demanded Miss Lampros to perform oral sex. Okay. Y'all doing good? Just making sure. All right, let's keep reading. As Miss Lampros' eyes filled with tears, she could see that the parking garage attendant witnessed this horrific assault. This had no impact on Mr. Combs. He was blind by his lustful desire to pleasure himself at Miss Lampros' expense. Wow. I wonder how much he paid off that parking attendant. That's really what it comes down to. How much did they get paid? Okay. Yeah. All right. When Mr. Combs was done with her, he told her to get up. Miss Lampros was in shock, morally depleted, embarrassed, and in physical agony because of Mr. Combs violently yanking her down to the knees and pulling her hair. Once again, Mr. Lampros made the decision to distance herself, and once again, Mr. Combs came back with gifts and empty promises. Miss Lampros was not moved. She had enough and decided to focus on her studies to leave Mr. Combs for good. Unbeknownst to Miss Lampros, Mr. Combs was not good at accepting rejection. He immediately switched his approach and became angry, threatening, and forceful. He developed this monster persona, and Miss Lampros was in fear of him. Mr. Combs began calling Miss Lampros I can't even pronounce that word. Hold up. Why am I saying it wrong? I'm reading it too fast. Incessantly? I think that's how it said. Incessantly. Hold up. Incessantly. Thank you. That's how you say that. Sorry, y'all. I want to make sure I'm saying the word correctly. Okay? All right. Where did I go? Okay. So Mr. Combs began calling Miss Lampros incessantly and would often call her just to say, if anyone is in your apartment, I will beat your ass in theirs. Miss Lampros, reasonably feared of Mr. Combs, left her feeling stuck with him, and with no way out, he knew where she lived and worked and had connections to ensure her compliance with his demands. Wow. She felt that if she disobeyed him, he would take away her dreams of pursuing a career in his world. Mr. Combs would also threaten to blacklist her in the industry if she tried to mess with him in any way. Miss Lampro's dreams and everything she had been working hard for were in the palms of his hands. Okay, we have sexual encounter number 3. And hold up, let me see. We got pictures over here, y'all. And then we have a number 4. Oh my God. Okay. All right. And then J-Lo makes it. J-Lo's here too, y'all. Okay. Let's go to this. And trigger warning, please. Okay. Sexual assault encounter 3. One night in 1996, Mr. Combs ordered Miss Lampros to his Manhattan apartment. The word order literally says he ordered her to the apartment. Okay. Mr. Combs' residence was in the 30s and park near the Midtown Tunnel. When Miss Lampros arrived, Kim Porter and 2 other people were present. Mr. Combs introduced the women. They went to a nightclub. Hold up, let me read that again. Mr. Combs' residence was in the 30s and parked near the Midtown Tunnel. When Miss Lampros arrived, Kim Porter and 2 other people were present. Mr. Combs introduced the women. They went to a nightclub. After the club closed, they returned to Mr. Combs' apartment and they began a night of drinking. A couple of hours into the evening, Mr. Combs forced Miss Porter and Miss Lampros to take ecstasy. Oh my God. Mr. Combs instructed the women to open their mouths. When they complied with the demand, Mr. Combs forced the pill down their throats to ensure the pills were swallowed. Mr. Combs' hands were so far down Miss Lampro's throat, she gagged. He even checked under their tongues. Like he wanted to make sure that they took the pill. With a combination of alcohol and ecstasy, Miss Lampros recalls feeling lightheaded and lethargic. After being forced to take ecstasy, Mr. Combs then demanded Kim Porter to have sexual intercourse with Miss Lampros. Miss Lampros vocally opposed to this idea, but Mr. Combs quickly reminded her that she had no control over the situation as he could make her lose her job. Miss Lampros knew that she had to comply because she had witnessed what happened when someone defies Mr. Combs. She had also been threatened and victimized by Mr. Combs and did not want to cause a problem because she feared him. As Mr. Combs demanded Miss Porter and Miss Lampros to engage in sex, Mr. Combs sat close by, masturbating for some time before pushing Kim Porter off Miss Lampros and forcing his penis inside her and raping her. Miss Lampros felt numbed at the moment and emotionally checked out. A few hours later, Miss Lampros recalled being woken up by Mr. Combs and told to leave the residence. She felt disgusted, ashamed, and embarrassed and couldn't believe what had happened. Shortly after this event, Miss Lampros slowly distanced herself from Mr. Combs. Even though she was reluctant to be with him, he used the industry connections and invitations to exclusive events to keep her attached. Okay. See, I can I just say something, y'all? All right, like number 56. Shortly after this event, Miss Lampros slowly distanced herself from Mr. Combs. Even though she was reluctant to be with him, he used industry connections and invitations to exclusive events to keep her attached. So, uh, let me ask you guys something. Would you consider Diddy's events like industry events or parties? Like, I'm thinking industry events, I'm thinking like the music awards or the, fashion shows or whatever. But this is even related to, I guess you could say that Sean's baby Father's Day bash is an industry event. Is that an industry event or is that a Sean Diddy Combs event? Because I mean, but he is the industry, right? Like you could make the argument for both. I'm kind of wondering, like, just the details of what's the difference between, say, like the music awards to a Diddy party. Wouldn't there be a difference to that? Or, like, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. VB says, I hope Kim Porter has someone to hear her out and support her because now we all know. Well, Kim Porter is no longer with us. All we know we can do is acknowledge and honor her pain that she. Oh, you, I gotcha. Honor her pain now that she's gone. Like, at least hear other people what they have said. I'm just wondering. They were meet and greet. Anytime you're around them, you can make a connection, says Cynthia. Gotcha. No, this was in I would say 94 would be early 90s, right? So this was like literally right at Bad Boy Records. Kay says, well, back in the day, he was a top industry guy. I think it was the same. He was the guy who made the things happen for people. That's right. Award ceremonies have less sex and drugs than Diddy's parties. You would think. You would think. You say, I want Kimora to go on and speak, and she knows a lot. Her and Kim were best friends. Yeah. I hope she does speak out. If she does, like that would be great to know kind of what else, but she's holding back a lot, you know? She's holding back a lot. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so Mr. Combs went so far as to invite her to Kim Porter's birthday celebration. Sean Puffy Combs coordinately invites you to attend a birthday celebration in honor of his girlfriend Kim Porter. December 6, 1997, at Cheetah, 12 West 21st Street. This evening, will be featured special performance by The Invitation. I can't even read some of the writing, y'all. I think I need glasses. This invitation is sexy formal attire will be required. God, that's horrible. Wow, and it even has a seal on it too, y'all. Look at this. Okay, end of the road. Here we are. End of the road. Ready? I know. Coordinately. See, I can't pronounce. I don't know what's going on. How can someone treat women and say that they have daughters? That's a great question. You said they do. It was wild. I heard a lot back in the days from the aunts and the cousins. You making fun of me. Coordinately invites you. Coordinately. Cordially. Coordinately. All right. End of the road. In or about 1998. Here we go. We're going to 1998. You can't pronounce it either. Listen, some words I can't pronounce. I'm just letting you know. Anyways, shout out to you. Hey, Big D's. Welcome. Okay. In or about. Is it in or about or on or about? In or about 1998, Miss Lampros found the courage to end a relationship with Mr. Combs. She had finally suffered enough. However, this ending was one-sided. Mr. Combs and Kim Porter weren't done with Miss Lampros. Wait, what? Am I reading that correctly? Hold up. Did y'all see that? Are they like saying that Kim had something to do with this too? What's up with this? However, this ending was one-sided. Mr. Combs and Kim Porter weren't done with Miss Lampros. Hey, Auntie. Welcome, Auntie. Kim Porter was very resentful of Miss Lampros after she was forced to engage in sex acts with Miss Lampros. Listen, Kim Porter is not here to defend herself on this. Like, I have issues with this. Kim Porter was very resentful of Miss Lampros after she was forced to engage in sex acts with Miss Lampros. She dined at Miss Lampros' place of employment, a bar named Silver, which was in Soho. According to Miss Lampros, Miss Porter was enraged when she saw her. All right. According to Miss Lampros, 2 days later, Miss Porter called her employer and complained to the manager, alleging that Miss Lampros attempted to poison her. She then stated that her boyfriend was Sean Combs and could have the business shut down if he did not immediately terminate Miss Lampros. Later that evening, the manager told her he had to let her go because Mr. Combs called and demanded that he fired her. What? I'm just reacting to this, y'all. I'm just saying. Born in Boston, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for supporting my channel. Kay says his bodyguard says she was down for whatever he was down for. She was his first baby mother's best friend. That was shocking to find out later. So who knows? I thought, but that's what I'm saying. It's like the first sentence, she implicates Kim as being forced to have sex with her, right? She implicated Kim in the same sentence as she admitted Kim was forced. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm having a how is this even going to? How are you going to prove this? There's no pictures of this. Hold up, because he likes to treat his lawsuits like a picture book. All right, let me finish reading, okay, and then I'll react because I'm having issues with this piece. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? It's me reacting at the moment. So the manager tells her that she has to let her go because Mr. Combs demanded that she be fired. Miss Lampros believes that Miss Porter got Miss Lampros fired in retaliation for what Mr. Combs made them do. See that there's another sentence right there. Number 61, Miss Lampros believes that Miss Porter got Lampros fired in retaliation for what Mr. Combs made them do. Made them do. As in, like, you forced them to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was force. But okay. According to Miss Lampros, her boss was afraid of Mr. Combs and his contacts and told her he had to do it, or Mr. Combs could risk getting his business closed. Okay. Miss Lampros called Mr. Combs and he showed no remorse. that she was out of a job. In fact, he laughed about it. At the time she ended their relationship, Ms. Lampros recalls Mr. Combs' penis being adolescently in both length and width. She recalls him being circumcised and remembers a tattoo on his chest. Whoa, what? So at the time that the relationship ended, they're talking about Diddy's penis here. Being adolescently, what does that even mean? Like, is she trying to say that I'm confused by this. Adolescent, and Tyrone Blackburn wrote this shit. So I'm really like, I'm trying to understand what he's trying to say here. Like, is she trying to say, he's trying to say that it was small, both in length and width? Not, he said adolescent size. She recalls him being circumcised and remembers a tattoo on his chest. Pika, I want to know, like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna check and make, if he's circumcised, that means like adolescently. See, I can't even pronounce my words. Priya says, say it one more time, Rabbit. This lawyer, like, y'all, I have issues with the way this lawsuit is written, but you guys know I've had issues with like Tyrone Blackburn. And that is like, I hope it means what it thinks. I mean, you could have said, Miss Lampros recalls that Mr. Combs has an adolescent-sized penis. This shit is not even going to be monetized. I am done. I don't even know what to say. It's weird. Jamie says Tyrone and his strange digs while providing evidence. I don't know. Like, are you taking a dig on this man's ping or what is it? Like, I am done. I'm done. Is that what he's saying? Could he just said that? No. Describe it. You can describe it. You don't have to say like, I don't, it's weird when Tyrone Blackburn writes a lawsuit. It's like, I don't know if he's just like being serious. This is a victim's statement to you. The least you can do is be a little bit more professional about how you say your shit. Like, this is just too much. I said ping. Now he's like, not a baby carrot. Oh Lord. Jordy T's like, no, not to describe it. It's all apparently, Jazz. Apparently. Well, why would he use the word adolescence to describe a small penis? Like, why would you even use that word? Why is that? All right, let me stop. Yo, like, I don't know. Let me let's oh my god. You know what? Let me stop real quick because this takes me back to oh, Tasha K is so bad for this shit. When she interviewed William the Baddest, the most irrelevant reality TV show celebrity, talking about Soldier Boy's ping too. Like, oh my god, I've had enough of this. This is too much. All right. We don't need to include this description. I don't know why this is part of the lawsuit. And I think it's made to, try to, you don't need to shame Diddy because the shit that he already does, he's already doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you trying to say with this? But then again, this is his lawsuit. So Grammarly did not pass this. No, it didn't. You need to stop. Yeah, you said Grammarly could have helped in there. No, I don't think so. I don't think, not here. Okay, let's keep reading. Sean John Clothing. While in a relationship with Mr. Combs, Miss Lampros was a student at FIT. Remember, she's like the fashion institute student. She had a passion for fashion, and Mr. Combs knew this. Mr. Combs promised Miss Lampros several working opportunities in fashion and music industry, and the two often discussed his plans to launch his own clothing brand. Within months of Miss Lampros in their relationship, Mr. Combs launched Sean John. According to Miss Lampros, she saw Mr. Combs at an event at Rockefeller Center on or about the end of 2000s towards the beginning of 2001. Okay. At that time, Miss Lampros says Mr. Combs may have been filming a season of Making the Band. According to Miss Lampros, when Mr. Combs saw her, he approached Miss Lampros and asked the camera crew to turn off the cameras to not film their interaction. According to Miss Lampros, Mr. Combs asked her how she was, expressed to her that he missed her, and asked if she would leave the event at Rockefeller Center with him. Miss Lampros rejected Mr. Combs and left. Ooh, I wonder if anybody else saw that interaction, because that would be interesting. According to Miss Lampros, later that evening, he kept calling her and asking if she would come to his apartment at Park Avenue, but she said no. He even offered to send his driver to pick her up. Finally, he offered to come with the driver to pick her up. Now, I'm wondering, what was her role? Was she doing the wardrobe? Like, how did they find each other? They found each other. Was she there when they were filming Making the Band? No, she was there for an event. So she was still around? I thought she ended the relationship. Okay. Anyways. I don't know, Chico. Is that what the news is? Because it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if Diddy could, if I was Diddy, I'd probably do the same too. Go be roommates with Russell Simmons. They deserve each other. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, who assaults someone and then acts like it never happened? Destiny said that she went to the Grammarly highlights. The whole lawsuit read no suggestions available. Destiny's like, yeah, you can't. We don't know what to tell you. You're on your own, Tyrone Blackburn, for this one. Okay. According to Miss Lampros, Mr. Combs does not like the word no. He called a few more times, so she stopped answering the phone. According to Miss Lampros, a few days later, he called again, begging to see her. Reluctantly and regrettably, she allowed him to come over to the apartment located at 477 Central Park West to hear what he had to say. Miss Lampros figured it was during the day and doubted that he would try to harm her. According to Miss Lampros, when she opened the door, his security was sitting on the stairwell. Knowing that security was there made Miss Lampros feel a little bit better about letting him in. They sat on the couch and began talking. According to Miss Lampros, Mr. Combs began apologizing for his past behaviors. He started telling her that he was a changed man. He then showered her with compliments, telling her how good she looked, and kept reminiscing about their prior sex life. He then began dropping hints about them having sex. Miss Lampros rejected his advances. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Mr. Combs violently grabbed her and forced himself onto her. He began kissing her and touching her against her will. All right, trigger warning, y'all. Again, trigger warning. At that point, Miss Lampros fought him off after she quickly realized it was a big mistake to have allowed him to visit her. She told him to leave as she felt that he just wanted to use her for sex and hadn't changed. Even more disgusting was the fact that Ms. Lampros knew that Mr. Combs was involved in a very public relationship with Jennifer Lopez. Oh my God. Oh, wow. So, y'all, there were those rumors that J-Lo would find out about him cheating. But this one, I mean, it's clearly an assault. But what she would do, what I heard is that she wouldn't like go to sleep. She would be crazy all about Diddy being with Diddy and everything because it took her like on a roller coaster and whatnot. So, yeah, like he was doing this while he was in a relationship with J-Lo. That's crazy. That's crazy, you guys. Not even, I don't even know what to say about this. But, anyways, so it continues. According to several, and by the way, I don't know why he has to add a picture of J-Lo and Sean. We know what J-Lo looks like, Tyrone. Like, why do you have to add a picture of her and Diddy? I don't get it. Like, here's Exhibit 5. This is Sean Diddy Combs and J-Lo. Yeah, Vic, I get that. But I mean, honestly, like, she's done her career, right? So I could definitely see where she needed to be in control of everything. When Wendy Williams said, I'll never forget what Wendy Williams said, and I put that clip up there, is that after she was in this relationship with Diddy, she had to go to a man that she could control a bit, right? Like that she could actually have more control over. Diddy wasn't it. Ben Affleck is to me gives me like you can control that man a little bit more. So yeah, and the other ones too. I can't either. No, I don't even like her movie. I'm just saying. I mean, it's been a while. I think Made in Manhattan was the last movie I watched. Okay. Thank you. Yes, please hit the like button, please, and thank you. Thank you. All right, let's keep reading this lawsuit. According to several media reports from that time, let me see how much time I have. Mr. Combs ended his relationship with Jennifer Lopez due to infidelity in February of 2001. Oh, hold up. I got somebody at my door. Sorry, y'all. This was around the same time that Mr. Combs sexually assaulted Miss Lampros. Luckily for Miss Lampros, the couch was right near the door of the apartment, so it was easy for her to reach for the door, open it, and demand for him to leave. She ensured that his security could hear her telling him to exit. She was afraid that Mr. Combs would have raped her as he does not take no for an answer. Oh, I hear baby bunny. And had no history of violently handling her and forcing her to perform oral on him. Miss Lampros is in possession of several of Mr. Combs' phone numbers throughout the years. Oh, wow. So back in the day when we used to have phone books, I guess, you'd write the phone number down, you know? Miss Lampros discovered that Mr. Combs recorded and disclosed a tape of him having sex with her. According to Miss Lampros, in or about 2023, Miss Lampros was at a function and a gentleman redacted information informed the man Miss Lampros was dating that he should reconsider dating her because he personally saw a video of her and Sean Combs having sex. Was he taping this? Oh my God. According to Miss Lampros, redacted share that he saw the tape during the summer of 1997. According to Miss Lampros, she was told that Mr. Combs apparently recorded them having sex without her knowing and showed it to multiple people. Wow. All right, so I'm going to stop right there. This is just the cause of action. So the actual events go from page 4 to page 15. So if you guys want to know the deets of the lawsuit, pages are 4 through 15. And then everything else is just kind of lawsuit language of like what they're, accusing him of. First cause of battery, second cause sexual assault, third cause negligent infliction of emotional distress, and then the fourth cause violation of the Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. And then the prayer for relief, and then Tyrone Blackburn is the attorney that is demanding this. And then, of course, receipt of delivery. Let me see what else. All this. This is like, hold up. Let me stop right here. And let me see how much I can read of this one. Because I got to tend to be, this is pages. Now, the Crystal McKinney lawsuit has 15 pages, right? And it's a different attorney. Let me see what the parties, defendant, Sean John Clothing. So they're suing everything and everything. Factual allegations. This is page, hold up, let me see if I have time. Page 5 through 10. Okay. Let's see if I can go through this quick because I have the Tenta Baby Bunny here. Hold up, y'all. Here we go. At the age of 17, plaintiff won MTV's inaugural model mission on December 5th of 1998, a televised modeling competition akin to a Miss America, and she was awarded a modeling contract with IMG. Shortly thereafter, plaintiff careers took off. Plaintiff modeled for Tommy Hilfiger jeans and campaign. Plaintiff was also featured in Macy's catalog, Elle, Cosmopolitan, and Mademoiselle magazine. Plaintiff also made appearance in television and film program such as MTV's Total Request Live (TRL), Fashionably Loud, True Life, and a movie with Joan Rivers. She was in True Life, like True what I used to watch True Life on the MTV shows, and a movie with Joan Rivers. Furthermore, plaintiff had international modeling gigs in Germany and Australia. A fashion designer invites plaintiff to Men's Fashion Week to meet Mr. Combs. Interesting. I need more coffee, yeah. But I'm gonna try to glaze through this one because I gotta go tend to baby bunny and I only got like 5 more minutes. Hold up, y'all. How many more minutes do I have? 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Furthermore, plaintiffs had international modeling gigs in Germany and Australia. A fashion designer invites plaintiff to Men's Fashion Week to meet Mr. Combs. Now, if you guys remember, April also had the fashion designing thing in her background. So keep that in mind. I mean, this is access to women, access to these victims, right? You knew people from those episodes? I think I knew somebody. They passed away though a long time ago. It's been many years, but yeah, I can't even I don't want to disclose too much about that. But anyways, they said in 2003, when plaintiff was 22 years old, a fashion designer, the designer, invited plaintiff to attend a men's fashion show week event held at the, I don't know how to say that, downtown. I'm not even going to try. And then the location and address is in New York City. At that time, plaintiff was engaged in modeling gigs in Miami, Florida, and flew to New York for the event. The designer told plaintiff that he would be introducing her to Combs, which could advance her modeling career. Interesting. The designer began to direct plaintiff's appearance as he sought to ensure Combs found her attractive. Okay. For instance, the designer instructed plaintiff to go to Elizabeth Arden to get a root touch up to ensure it was platinum blonde. The designer also scheduled a stylist to put in her hair extensions for plaintiff. The designer then handpicked a black leather coat with a fur hood, a translucent chiffon, beige V-cut shirt, fur-lined handbag, and a jewel-encrusted jeans for plaintiff to wear to the event. Lord, look at all these details. Now, the details to this is very interesting. This is the lady that they're saying that they still have clothing for her, where she was assaulted and it was kept in a bag, right? Remind me, but I'm pretty sure this is what it is. Due to the traumatic events to occur later, plaintiff saved the unwashed clothes from that night in her closet where they remain in a plastic bag. You see these details. Now, this details is very much detailing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like vague. Like, they're saying this woman, this victim, saved the clothing in the closet in bags. And look how it's being described, which tells me the details to that trauma was intense, right? Here we go. Soon thereafter, plaintiff took a car to the something something downtown where the designer was dining with Combs and other guests. Plaintiff felt little control over the event as she was directed what to do and put on display for others to attend. Now, this designer, we don't have a name for it, but I'm wondering if that designer is a handler, okay? Because he's instructing her what to wear, doing her hair platinum blonde, doing all kinds of things. Is that a handler? That's what it's giving to me. But okay. All right. So, and she felt little control and was being directed and put in display for others to attend. Hold on. Plaintiff felt little control over the event as she was directed what to do and put on display for others in attendance. For instance, plaintiff sat down on an empty seat next to the designer, but he insisted that she sit down directly across from Combs instead. Isn't it giving handler? Like it's giving, yeah, all right. Once seated, Combs made a very public display of coming onto plaintiff in a sexually suggestive way, which continued throughout the dinner. For others to hear, Combs bestowed compliments on plaintiff by stating, for example, that she was beautiful and that her eyes were gorgeous. It's giving groomer, right? Exactly. Exactly. It could be one. It could be one we've heard whispering about, because y'all, right, Kay? You could put that name in the chat if you want. You know, there's a lot of whispers on different people who it could have been. Corey, others, there's a lot of them. Okay. So later and at one intimate volume, Combs told plaintiff was going to make it big one day. What? Later at a one moment intimate volume, Combs told plaintiff was going to make it big one day as a model. Okay, gotcha. So later at a more intimate volume, so did he like whisper to her? Combs told plaintiff was going to make it big one day. So Diddy was telling this victim that she was going to make it one day. Maybe he whispered at her, maybe something. Right? That's that one. That one right there. Combs went on to tell plaintiff that he had power in the industry and was going to help her advance her career. Combs provided plaintiff with his phone number as a gesture of good faith in his promises to help her. Throughout his interactions, Combs was flirtatious, bordering on leering as he leaned across the table towards her. Combs also plied plaintiff with alcohol throughout the dinner as he repeatedly filled her glass with wine. I read that on the article 2 days ago. After the meal ended, Combs told plaintiff that he wanted to get to know her better. Combs asked plaintiff to call him a bit later. Plaintiff felt confused, but hopeful that Combs would fill his promises to help her career. There's a lot of promises of career help here. Like in every Diddy story, he's always telling people he's going to help them with their career all the time. Plaintiff meets Combs at his studio where he drugs and sexually assaulted her. Later that night, Combs requested plaintiff come see his studio located at 321 West 44th Street, New York, New York. Plaintiff felt reassured that she would be with others at the studio rather alone in a personal residence. When plaintiff arrived, she found that Combs had several other men seated together. Oh my God. She found that they were passing around a bottle of Hennessy and joints. After plaintiff sat down, one of Combs' associates asked her, "Do you smoke weed?" To which she responded affirmatively. Combs' associate replied, You've never had weed like this before." So the associate says to her, "You've never had weed like this before." Wonder what it was laced with. Plaintiff later came to understand that Combs had laced the joint with a narcotic or other intoxicating substances. Combs passed her the joint and plaintiff took a hit which felt very powerful. Although plaintiff insisted that she had enough after that, Combs to abide pressured her and abide her more alcohol and marijuana by telling her that she was acting too uptight. Plaintiff felt as if she was floating. Seeing plaintiff was very intoxicated, Combs demanded plaintiff follow him, and he physically led plaintiff to the bathroom. In the bathroom, Combs forced himself on plaintiff and began kissing her without her consent. Combs then shoved her head down his crotch before commanding her to suck it. Plaintiff refused, but Combs pushed her head down into. Ugh, all right, that's too much. She performed oral sex. Let me skip that part. As she was being assaulted, plaintiff felt panicked and physically sick. Afterwards, Combs led plaintiff back into the studio. Upon standing and walking, plaintiff felt more and more woozy and then lost consciousness. Plaintiff awakened in shock to find herself in a taxi cab headed back to the designer's apartment. The designer's apartment. As her consciousness returned, plaintiff felt that she had been sexually assaulted by Combs. Plaintiff felt humiliated and traumatized without recourse. Combs' assault has caused plaintiff lifelong harm. Following the assault, plaintiff modeling opportunities quickly began to dwindle and then evaporate. Upon information and belief, Combs and plaintiff was blackballed in the industry and utilized his significant influence to impede in plaintiff's career growth. And that does happen. Plaintiff became severely depressed as she began to blame herself for the assault and for sabotaging her own career. The assault led plaintiff into a tailspin of anxiety and depression. In or about 2004, plaintiff attempted suicide and was hospitalized. Oh my God. Can you guys see the difference? Hey, Grape Tea. Can y'all see the difference between this lawsuit and Tyrone Blackburn? Do you see this? Well, now I haven't finished it all, but I don't see any narrative about Diddy's ping in here. Like, he doesn't describe any. It's not relevant. Pictures aren't relevant. All of that is for the court. I don't see this attorney putting and saying he was circumcised, or you know what I'm saying. And the details to that assault is very much the same to one of the other assaults. Y'all see the difference? You know how you can convey the actions that took place without sensationalizing them? Because when you sensationalize them, you're not doing it to protect the victim. You're not doing it to help the victim. You're doing it to sensationalize the bullshit in the media. That's what he's doing. It's a much more, y'all see that between this, you read Cassie, even Cassie's filing had a warning for people. So for me, this is why Tyrone Blackburn is trash. And he is harmful to victims. I'm just gonna say that, allegedly, my opinion. Sue me, I ain't got it. Just like Tasha K, I don't got it. But I'm just telling you, in my opinion, he does it in order to create sensationalism, because and you don't need to do that if your lawsuit can stand within itself. This woman has bags of clothing of that sexual assault. She doesn't need to do any of that. She doesn't need a sensation. She's giving us the facts. That's what they're giving us there. But Tyrone Blackburn will give you something else. Okay? All right. Let's keep reading this because we are almost done. All right. So the assault led to a tailspin. In or about 2004, plaintiff attempted suicide, was hospitalized. Everywhere plaintiff looked, she was reminded of Combs' assault, as Combs was an inescapable presence in the music, television, and film industry. I would agree with that. In the ensuing years, plaintiff has also experienced alcohol and drug addiction as she attempted to cope with the emotional trauma of being assaulted. Plaintiff has also experienced intimacy issues as she struggles to maintain emotional and sexual relationships with men. Oh my God. Plaintiff was married from approximately 2006 to 2010. However, her marriage fell apart and she had a mental breakdown precipitated by memories of the assault. Combs' assault has altered the trajectory of plaintiff's career, denying her a successful and lucrative career in the modeling and film industries. To this day, plaintiff experiences bouts of depression, anxiety, and body image issues. Feelings of self-worth, worthlessness, intimacy issues because of Combs' assault. Plaintiff is a woman of faith, and when she saw news coverage of the lawsuits from Miss Cassie Ventura, Miss Dickerson Neal, and others, she knew she had a moral obligation to speak up. Notice how they're not even mentioning Little Rod. Interesting. Plaintiff prayed to God before bringing this lawsuit, as she feared further violence and or retaliation from defendant Combs, but ultimately decided that she needed to speak her truth. Plaintiff seeks justice for herself for any other of Combs' victims. And so the actions, of course, a NYC victim of gender motivated violence is there. Hold up, yo, let me go back. We're not going to read through this. And then jury demand, prayer for relief. And this is Michelle, is it Ciola Esquire, another attorney. So I wanted to make a comparison. If you look at Tyrone Blackburn's lawsuits to the other victim lawsuits, comparably different, and yet still very much powerful, still able to bring the details and the facts. I don't know, you guys. People are coming out and they're speaking out, and shout out to them, and I hope that they continue to do so. God knows how many other victims we have out there. And let me shout out DB. Thank you so much for gifting memberships. I don't know if I shouted you out. Thank you, love. I was reading and I got caught up in the lawsuit. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Thank you. If you got a membership from DB, make sure you put a heart in the chat. Thanks, babe. You guys, like, I it's the first time I'm reading these lawsuits like this. Like, wow. It's there's a lot to consume, and it's a lot to say about what's going on, but people have looked away, people have gotten paid. When is it going to stop? Like, when are people going to wake up? Like, does it have to happen to our kids, your kids? Like, what sets us all apart besides money and fame and everything? It's horrible. iCats, welcome. You said I have a problem with her filing a lawsuit 3 decades later until these people realize how many victims they could have protected from this happening to them if they would have come forward. And there's an argument for that too, Taz. A lot of people feel that way too. And I think it's a fair argument. It's a fair argument to make. But sometimes you can't push people to expose other people. You can't. As much as, like, I feel the same. I hear what you're saying with that too, but everybody speaks out in their own time, He can't be treated right, Martha. I would agree with you on that. But you guys, I mean, this man escaped justice for so freaking long. Hey, Joy, he did. He escaped, like, there were so many opportunities for him to have been held responsible so many times, and there's still a lot of people in the industry that don't speak up and don't say, like, you know what, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Like, this shit is like I just say what it is. What is it? And yeah, it does happen. It takes time for men and women to process this. It's the same thing. Like, men's sexual assault in the industry is not taken serious. Go look at all the Kevin Spacey stuff. Go look at what the different men are saying about men. They don't take that shit serious. They don't. And it doesn't help when you have, like, I don't know. It's a really weird balance. You have kind of a scale that is like, where do we go from here? So now this is happening. Now what? Epstein victims didn't come forward until he was dead. Fear is real. And especially someone like Epstein, after you find out how, like, he's in society, he's in, like, everywhere. That's crazy. That is living in real fear, right? Of, like, you don't know what connections Epstein has. This is exactly why folks need to talk about it. This shit needs to stop. Yes, it's heavy, but it's how laws get changed. This is how change happens. Right. Definitely. Peloton. Every time I think of Peloton, I think of how it killed Mr. Big. Sorry, I was watching the Sex and the City show. He got on that Peloton. He died of a heart attack. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, some victims don't say anything. Why put yourself in that situation? Some people do say that. Yeah, Brendan Fraser is a great example of somebody who was a male victim of an assault and he got blackballed. And literally, I actually, it's so crazy, Kanan, that you said that, because I was just thinking about like how many men have come out from this Me Too movement and actually get blackballed, and he's one of them. There's probably a lot more out there that we don't even know, but he's one of my favorite actors too. Mr. Big and Peloton. I will never. I'm like, Peloton is what killed Mr. Big. No, even though that's a show. Notice crickets, all supposed to be powerful female. Taylor, Beyonce, Oprah, Michelle have no comment. Yeah, where are they? Michelle Obama, Taylor, Beyonce, all the Kim Kardashian, all these people, but they don't speak. They don't speak. They just don't. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tess. Anyways, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments, of course. You said Mr. Big, I'm crying. I can't believe they had issues with an apology for that. Mm-hmm. He spoke about Kevin, Anthony Rapp, and you saw what happened there too. All right, guys. I gotta let you guys go. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're reviewing this, please hit the like button. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Shout out to you guys. I'm going to be working on some edited videos. I might go live later. Just depends. You guys have a great one, okay? Thank you so much. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think? Tell me your opinion. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shout out to y'all. Thank you. Bye, guys.